All right, after some technical difficulties with the microphones, we are back. Moncton High School Purple Knights visiting the Riverview High School Royals, and here we go.
And this was also the Moncton High School Purple Knights home opener that happened earlier in the month of November, where they took a 5-4 loss in a game to where Riverview had sprung out to a huge lead, but got into some penalty trouble. Starting goalies for tonight, in net for Moncton High, it's the Moncton Hawk. He's currently undefeated in U15 AAA. Dexter McLaughlin steps in between the pipes, and it's Logan Wilson in net for Riverview High.
Moncton High School having to deal with some key suspensions after last night's match against the Tantramar Titans, which got ugly pretty quickly. Let's hope that doesn't happen tonight.
And some of those players missing, Easton Woods currently serving a suspension, as well as Joey Goulet and Elias Sock not in the lineup today. And they're going to give Rylan Abair a night off. So it's McLaughlin that steps in for his first high school shot. And that was his first save, I do believe, just a little bit ago. And some affiliates in the lineup for Moncton High. The Moncton Thunderbird, Damian McNaughton, steps in. He's wearing number 13. He's right at the blue line there. Tatum Drover playing Dieppe AA and wearing 19 in the lineup tonight. And Parker LeBlanc, number 8, also competitive, inserting himself in the line. And there's a blocker save from McLaughlin as it goes high into the netting. And for the Royals, number 3, Isaac Brooks, steps in. Not only a great hockey player, also great on the golf course as well. Number 7, Dylan Abair, slides in. And Ben McCready, absent from the RHS lineup tonight. Poked in by Young. This one's just going to slide out the blue line. Maneuvering back with it there is Brooks over to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh to the middle for Trenum. He's going to lay a light flip in. This one's going to go on McLaughlin. He's going to stand up and play it right to McNaughton. McNaughton stepping back. Cutting wide. Will dump it in as his teammates go for a change. Behind it's Kavanaugh. Trying to find it on his backhand up to the hash marks. Webb had looked to go on for the hit. Webb trying to center and couldn't quite get by Brooks. Beal to the line. Tyler Warner the shot. And that one's in the glove of Wilson.
So far, the Riverview High School Royals have been having a fantastic season, making the final of the Dieppe Classic, but coming short against the Commandant de Lévis. And on the Riverview High School Royals, Jackson Somers, 31 points, leading the league in points by a long margin.
And he has more goals this season than anyone does points. 17 goals. The next one behind him is 15 points. And that's his line mate, Tim Bedford. Abair up with it. He's trying to shoot it in past Harris. Harris is going to give him a bump. Now go in there and gets a slash from Fleming. Still around the boards it goes. Shot back in by Somers, taken by Harris. Again, he'll go off the boards to try to get that one to Gillis. Shot in by Newcomb. Behind the cage, it's LeBlanc. He'll throw that one around. Gillis waits at the hash marks with Newcomb. This one will get outside the zone. In the middle now. Working back towards the zone end, Jackson Somers. Currently 31 points. Newcomb now in reverse. Sent around for Dakota Smith. Dakota Smith in the corner. He'll try to play that one up. That one caught in some skates. Going to be freed at the Riverview blue line. Somers played up. LeBlanc off the boards. In the center. It's free. Will be flipped in. Delayed icing. This one's not going to have enough. Jack Newcomb, the first one there. Comes to rest behind his net. Webb looks on. Stretch pass intended for Lutz. Will eventually get there as Manderson took him down hard. And that gets the Purple Knights bench fired up. Now walking back in the center. Lutz walking in. Near boards. Lutz winds up and fires. And that had taken a little bit of a piece off McLaughlin. Webb through center. Manderson chasing on it. Delayed icing. This one will just barely go. Ethan Manderson a stride off from negating that one.
Ethan Manderson, last night 4 goals in 1 game against the Tantramar Titans. He's trying to extend his point streak here tonight against the Royals.
His first goal in high school came in the Dieppe Classic. Was against the Condor de Saint-Jean-Eudes. And that was an explosive game yesterday. 4 goals for him. There's a quick shot. McLaughlin ready, though. We'll have another quick face-off. Just under 17 to go in period 1 here. again to McLaughlin's right. Won by the Royals. Deflection taken. It's kicked right to the table. Bedford, he's going to try to put one to the net. That one flipped high. Will find its way over the cage. There's a hit laid up there behind the net. Pass out in the high slot. Unable to play at the blue line there was Kozak. He shoots that one in. That one off a body. It's Webb. Going back behind his net. Warner, the pass to Beal. Beal on the outlet pass. That's a turnover right in the middle. And just poked away by Murphy as that one was almost right in the possession of Somers, right in front of the net. Manderson against the boards. Flipping that one up. Beal trying to poke that one. Kept in by Richard. Bedford going across to his D-man, Evan Kozak. Shot in, takes a weird bounce off the wall. Murphy unable to get this one out. Somers skates his way in. Somers to his backhand. Cutting around. Somers still waiting for it. Saucer pass to the opposite side. Waiting, unable to shoot it there. That one looked to have been Lewis. As he now goes behind his net. Bedford. He skates around. Behind his net, Jackson Avery. He's going to get there before Lewis, but then absorb a hit. Lewis takes over here with a good forecheck to the middle. In some feet. Still loose to the blue line. Kavanaugh winds up. And that one blocked before it could get on the cage. Tyler Warner outside the zone. Drover had tried to move it across there, but couldn't quite get it into full possession. Kavanaugh recovering. The hard pass is tipped in by Lewis. Murphy tries to go around the boards. Caught him by Kavanaugh. Might have some room. The shot pad save by McLaughlin. Drover out to McNaughton. Left off for Daigle. Daigle off the boards. Wilson's going to find that behind his cage. Leave it off with his forehand. Kavanaugh to Trenum at the blue line. To the middle. That went off the back of his skate. Kervin trying to kick it to his feet. And he had a strong opening game. His first game coming back after a finger injury. 2 goals and 1 assist last night. He looks to play off that. Harris now with it. We'll shovel that one across for Daigle. Little dump in. Now skating around there is Brooks. Around, out of the reach of Kavanaugh. Trenum centered. This one barely kept in. Webb out of nowhere trying to move in. Doesn't have control of his stick as he goes behind the net. Lays a hit on Brooks. Kervin with the hit. There's Brandon Warner, who is playing defense today. D partner originally with his twin brother Tyler. And there's Webb leaving his feet for a hit.
The Riverview bench clearly wanting a call there as Moncton High player left his feet there. Pretty questionable one on that one, but no call.
Pretty hard to tell whether he just missed his hit or intended to hit. There's Gillis right in open ice. Catches Newcomb with his head down. Kavanaugh skating in. Somers unable to get possession with that one. Somers bumped away by Brandon Warner. Now into McNaughton. There was Avery trying to push it through. Brandon Warner and Somers are still battling behind the play as it's poked free down into the Riverview end. Kavanaugh circles around his net. Lays an outlet pass for a bear. To the middle. That one's off the skate of Fleming and will go to a Purple Knights defenseman. Back Newcomb. Up McNaughton on his forehand. He'll manage to chip this one in. McNaughton trying to get to the middle. What a defensive play. Daco Smith. Daco Smith up the wall. Somers trying to get that one out. Was blocked by the shoulder pads of Warner. Where he will circle this one around out of the near boards on the hash marks. McNaughton to the blue line. LeBlanc trying to keep this one in. It's Somers that gets him free. 2-on-1 with Weir. Somers skating in. The shot patted away. McLaughlin. Drover leaving this one off for McNaughton. He'll flip this one high and then off the glass. It takes a weird hop off the stanchion, so would have negated icing anyway. Royal set up behind their net. Daco Smith being hounded. We'll have to quickly send it back up to Lutz. Beal will shoot this one in. That one takes a weird hop on Wilson. He's going to leave that for Daco Smith. Daco Smith off the wall. Weir trying to center that one again off a skate. Taken away by Moncton High. Webb trying to move that one in the middle. Now chasing Lutz and getting to the corner. Lutz intercepted by Beal. Harris the shot. Pad save by Wilson. Daco Smith, the intended pass will find its way all the way down the ice, and that'll be icing against Riverview High.
The last time the Moncton High School Purple Knights took on these Royals, the offense was, the physicality was flipped on its head. Riverview were the ones delivering most of the hits, but now it's Moncton High. So far, they've been dominating physically. Pretty tight match so far.
But it's definitely been Riverview High with the puck possession so far. Moncton High, they sometimes have these slow starts, but then a burst of energy soon after. There's Kervin in the corner, poking at Chappell. They still fight for it. Chappell backhanded outside in the center. Murphy has a bit of time. Will make a quick pass over to Harris. Harris to the middle. Banked off the feet of Brandon Warner. Back for Chappell on the boards. Past Gillis. Over to Lutz. Again, poked free. Moving back, there was Daigle. Skating up is Harris. Has a bit of room. Campbell Harris, the shot. Save made by Wilson. Going to the net, that one right on the side. Brandon Warner delivering a shove. And the Royals wanted that one called. Daigle trying to find this one in his feet. He's going to play it behind him. The only one there is Jackson Sommers. Sommers will flip this one into open ice. Atkinson bringing this one in along the blue line. Atkinson still trying to shove his way in. Gets by Harris. Now a Royal is in the crease of McLaughlin. Bit of pushing and shoving there. Looks like not too much going to erupt from that. We're getting close to the midway stage of the first period. Game still the same as we started. It's still 0-0. Sommers around his cage. Looking for it in a big battle with Tyler Warner. He shoves him up against the boards and then takes him down. Moncton High still with the physicality now. Warner's tangled up with Sommers. Meanwhile, Atkinson out in front. They score! The pass to Tim Bedford, who was waiting in the high slot. The Purple Knights wanted a penalty call with all ones on the scoreboard. Tim Bedford gets the icebreaker here in this one. So an awkward play. It started off with the beautiful defensive pressure from Tyler Warner in the far corner. Got tangled up with Sommers. The puck ended up right behind the net of McLaughlin. It's Reed Atkinson that finds it. Feeds Bedford right in front. He goes top shelf. There's a shot. McLaughlin steered out of his net there a bit. And the Royals still in possession. Pass out in front. Deflected by Harris to the blue line. It's Kavanaugh that tries to bring it in. He's hit there by Dion. Dion, it's out of the zone. Delayed icing, although this one barely going to get to the blue line. In reverse, it's Trenham. He'll throw that one across. Passed up there by Brooks. It's Lewis that brings it in. Lewis getting tied up. He's going to put it into the net. That one's paddled away by McLaughlin into safety. Shot along the boards again. Will get out of the zone, but in the possession of Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh in, poked. Brooks to the line. He's going to let one go towards the net, and that one smacking the glass. Dion to the blue line, deflected out there by Banfield. Brooks still skating around with it. Kavanaugh back to Brooks. Brooks in the pass in the feet there of Trenham. He'll dump this one in. Murphy going behind the net. He gets bumped up into the boards. Maltis across. Manderson will try to get this one out of the zone. He will. But it's the Royals again. They are able to cycle the puck, get it in. Kavanaugh trying to walk in, but Banfield's right behind him, gives him a shove, and that one knocks him off balance. Kavanaugh trying to find this one in his feet. The Purple Knights surge up. Manderson cutting to the middle, but Dakota Smith again is on there on defense. Dakota Smith getting bumped by Beal. Manderson in there with a bear. To the line, Tyler Warner the shot. And that one blocked by Dakota Smith. Doing loads of work so far, Liam Dakota Smith. Multiple defensive stops and a couple block shots to go with it. Manderson going to find this one at open ice. Manderson steps in. Tyler Trojak. Manderson, the shot. Saved by Wilson. The puck is loose in the blue paint, and no one knew where it was. Manderson now down at the side of the net. He's going to have to get onside. Pass into open ice. Beal going for the poke check. Tyler Warner now across the boards. Moved up. Webb trying to work his way in. Dakota Smith there again. Still trying to work his way in. Trying to truck his way in past Beal. They both get tangled up, and the sticks go flying high. Dakota Smith chased by Webb. D-to-D across for Newcomb. That pass intercepted by Beal, but he couldn't find it in between his feet. The Royals sustained pressure going back the other way. Sommers walking in. He'll let one go. Save. Dexter McLaughlin almost looked like he had gone behind him, but he's there to smother it.
Well, seems like just a few weeks ago, starting to repeat itself as this game has already gone pretty physical. Some big hits on both ends and some complaints from the fans.
and might not all be fans. A Royal with a megaphone blaring here in the Byron Dobson. Here's Chapel in the face-off circle. It's one. Back for Richard. Richard waiting. Soft dish off. Weird to the net. And that went off the paddle of McLaughlin. And that'll deflect high. Chapel in the corner. Again, they try to center that out in front, getting that triangle forming. Now battling right next to the Purple Knights bench. Multiple players going down like a domino effect. And there's McNaughton. He's hit hard from behind from Kozak. Jackson Avery out of nowhere to send Kozak down to the ice. Grover. I tried to center that one. Harris getting tangled up, but manages to keep possession. Harris around. Weir going with Avery. McNaughton trying to get this one out. Again, he's shoved by Kozak, giving another shot. Then McNaughton and Kozak clearly not too happy with each other. There's Richard getting hit at the line by Drover. Avery poking. He's hit dangerously from behind. Chad or Richard, the hit on Avery. Now Harris is going to circle this one back. Delayed penalty on Riverview High. Dexter McLaughlin's to the bench, so we'll play 6-on-5. Harris waits, and there's Warner. They perform the jet sweep. That doesn't go to plan. Brandon Warner and Chad Richard chirping there at center. And Richard going to the bench. Or, pardon me, that's Ethan Chappell. That'll head to the box for a board. That last Riverview High goal at 11-11, Bedford from Atkinson and Somers. And now we have a 2-minute for boarding against Ethan Chappell. So a Moncton High power play. The first power play unit comes on. Warner across for Harris, who barely manages to keep that one in. Harris, Daigle, back to Harris. Harris across, Tyler Warner waits, looks at his options, goes to the top of the blue line. Warner still with it to the net, in and out of the glove of Wilson. Curvin finding it in the corner. Curvin trying to go to backdoor to Daigle, and intercepted and shot down by Trenum. Less than 7 to go here. McLaughlin was turning it over. He does. Here's Young, who gets plastered by Warner behind the cage. Warner for Harris. Harris skating up. Disturbance there from Trenum as the puck's going to be turned over. Young is just going to circle back to his own end, then fire it. Hit Daigle. And there's Trenum. Back and there, shot down the ice, touched by Harris. So the Purple Knights power play not off to an ideal start. Under a minute left now. And now we have a Royal down behind the net. Warner dropped it. Harris not where he thought he was. Curvin now has some ice. He's going to use it. Curvin stepping in. Gillis with the drop pass. Gillis tried to go around the boards for Curvin. Loose off the skate of Warner. Beal skates to open ice. Up for Warner. Warner going to let one go for the top. Off the paddle of Wilson. And this one not gone out. Harris steps in. Harris, the shot blocked by the leg of Gillis. There's another try. And Wilson's there in no time to deny Alex Beal. We're going to have a timeout taken here, so we'll take a break on Moncton High Sports. Braden Lane and with Diego Aragon from the Byron Dobson in Riverview for some Monday Night Hockey, a part of the NBIAA here on Moncton High Sports.
All right, just about 25 seconds left here on this Moncton High power play. Trying to get that game-tying goal here as we enter the last bit of this first period.
That face-off went out too well, so outside the zone it'll go. Harris circles around a little bit, lays it off. Tyler Warner to the middle, picked off. Potential 2-on-1. Somers breakaway, shorthanded. He scores!
What a goal. Jackson Somers going bar down shorthanded.
Jackson Somers again shorthanded. It seems like he's been on the ice for this whole penalty kill, and rightfully so. A lethal penalty killer. He goes bar south to get the Royals up to a 2-0 lead off a miscue from the Purple Knights. McNunn in, gets poke check to the draw. Pass for Drover. His shot off the stick of Wilson. 2 seconds still left on the Ethan Chappell boarding call. To the right of Wilson now. Won by Avery. Rushing to protect it in there's Warner. Brandon Warner the shot. Deflected. Drover circles around. Tatum Drover going to put one to the net. That one blocked by Avery. Brandon Warner going into pinch. This one sent out. Harris going to have to be careful. Will take the safe move, go off the board. Somers right there. Avery in there to angle him out. Somers up to the blue line for Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh waiting, hovering the line. Going down, back up to Kavanaugh. The shot. McLaughlin says no. And there's Brandon Warner in after the play. Runs a man over. Bedford not happy.
Sparks starting to fly here as Brandon Warner's penalized for, I believe, roughing here.
Could potentially be a cross check as well. Regardless, roughing after the whistle, but Bedford's also to the box. So this may even out here. And it looks like we will continue 5-on-5. The Purple Knights only have 4 men on. They're going to call on LeBlanc to come off the bench. So we will continue 5-on-5 here with just less than 5 to go in the period. And that last goal at 5:32, it's Somers unassisted. So give him his second point of the night. Newcomb trying to keep this one in. Beal was unable to get that one out. Tyler Warner behind the net, backhanded around, caught him by Dakota Smith. Back for Warner, and Maltis is run over by Dakota Smith at the blue line with a huge reverse hit. Newcomb trying to pass it to the middle. Disturbance there by Webb as Dakota Smith makes way. Dakota Smith with LeBlanc, and there's a hit. Oliver Fleming a bit from behind, and he will get called for it. Beal's going to give him a mouthful, but Fleming's going to go off for boarding here. That's 2 boarding penalties already against Riverview High. It's only been the first period, already seeing the tempers flare. Off the face-off, Purple Knights, again, they start their second try on the power play. That's 2 minutes for boarding. Shot to the net, attempted deflection. Here's Daigle, going to find it in the near corner. Daigle with Richard. Dishes it up to Harris. He shoots through traffic. There's the save, and Wilson's there to cover. So face-off is going to go to Wilson's right. Taken by Braden Daigle. He's against Chappell, and Ethan Chappell wins that one clearly. Richard along the glass, stopped in by Tyler Warner at the line, barely. Weir's there, and down the ice it'll go. McLaughlin debated going out there. Here's Harris. He'll find it in the near corner in his backhand. Harris up the wall for Daigle. He'll move that one across. Gillis. Daigle gets his stick lifted, taken away by Weir. Weir circling back. That pass intercepted by Curvin. Finding it there. Backhander towards the net. Wilson doesn't know where it is. It's Chappell to the line. Warner put to the net, and that one just wide. Here's one put, trying to get that behind the back of Wilson into the net. Ethan Curvin trying to sneak that one in there. 1:07 still to go on the man advantage for Moncton High. 3:24 in our first frame here. And that face-off not done upright. Tatum Drover was still about halfway to the bench when they dropped the puck. So it's Julian Webb that steps in replace of Avery. And will not lose the draw. McNaughton trying to put that to the net. This one backhanded off the dasher. Will go around for McLaughlin. McLaughlin leaving that one out. Tyler Warner behind the net on his backhand. We'll move that up. Damian McNaughton now. Back for Tyler Warner. He'll look across. Harris skates up past the red line. Harris into the zone. Hits the brakes. He'll just chuck that one along the board. Stopped Avery. There's McNaughton. McNaughton looking. We'll drop that off for Warner. Warner to the net. It's deflected by Webb. And we'll go to Newcomb. Met with McNaughton. Up the board. Stopped in by Warner. He'll go back off the boards. McNaughton waiting. Makes a little dangle towards the net. Gets caught in some feet and outside the zone it'll go. Takes a weird bounce. Now might be a breakaway for Lutz. McLaughlin out of his net and makes a perfect pass to the center. Brandon Warner liking that from the box. McNaughton skates in. Puck hopped over his stick. Wasn't able to get a shot off. Now to the middle. Avery getting in the face. And that's going to be a penalty against Moncton High. And they're going to call Jackson Avery off a scrum that ensued in front of the net. Brandon Warner now out of the box. Or are they going to take both? They're taking Avery for sure, and that looks like that's all they're going to take. So 2 seconds of 4-on-4 will happen. And then Riverview High will have a power play chance of their own. Off the draw, one by Somers. Now Riverview High power play. Bedford to the line. Kavanaugh across. Somers waits, fires, tried to go back door. There's the shot. And again, that one never got to the net. Great defense by Moncton High. Atkinson to the line for Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh almost fanned on it. Sent to Somers. Back door waiting. There's the shot off the post. Somers poke check down the ice from Gillis. And this one might be a break. Here's Daigle all alone. Braden Daigle to his backhand. Denied by Wilson. Braden Daigle definitely going to want to have that one back. Found himself all alone, short-handed. And now Riverview High, they get a chance to regroup. Skating up is Bedford. Bedford waiting to the middle and was unable to hit Lewis. Somers across. Atkinson. There's some bodies going flying. McLaughlin getting into some physical action. Kavanaugh. Back Bedford. Somers. Blue line. There's the shot. In and out of the glove of McLaughlin. It's on the side of the net. He's trying to cover it. There's a player falling on top of McLaughlin. Both officials get their hands up. And here we go. Brandon Warner going behind the net. There's some chopping. Ryan Gillis, it looks like. They are hounding Nolan Lewis.
Can't shove a goalie in the face and expect nothing to happen. Clearly this game is starting to get out of hand here. Some good old-fashioned hockey here as both teams exchange some pleasantries and some gloves.
And luckily for Nolan Lewis, he only had the stick out of his hand, so an unsportsmanlike Brandon Warner there.
I think that's going to be an unsportsmanlike for Brandon Warner.
And luckily for Nolan Lewis, only getting the stick knocked out of his hand. That was a fierce slash from Ryan Gillis. He wanted to take $300 out of his bank account with that one. So we'll see how these penalties sort out. It seems to be that Moncton High will get the extra one, if not an extra two. They're already short-handed. They have 4 players on the ice. They're going to go talk to the Moncton High bench. New coach Jack Perry, Greg Stoyle is also wanting in on the conversation. So an extra 2 has now gone on the board for Moncton High. Jackson Avery still in the box for roughing. He still has 50 seconds left on that. Dexter McLaughlin currently in net, getting his stretches in. Harris is still on the ice, now goes towards his bench. There's 5 Royals on the ice, so this looks like it'll be a 5-on-3. We'll just have to see how long. And all Royals go back to their bench. All Knights back to their bench, and it looks like Riverview High has taken a timeout. So we'll be back when we return with more action. Knights, Royals here on Moncton High Sports. Braden Lane and Diego Aragon from the Byron Dobson here in Riverview, and Dexter McLaughlin just fell and his helmet came off. That was hard to keep a straight face for. So 5-on-3 for Riverview High. Here's Bedford at the line. Sauce to Kavanaugh, back to Bedford. Bedford waiting, going back door, and the shot is just wide. Harris will get that one down the ice, the first chance he gets. Wilson recovering. Skating there is Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh on his forehand. Up to the blue line, gonna lay a soft dish off for Bedford. Bedford walking in, looking, going around the net still. Bedford still with possession, goes up to Kavanaugh. They play a bit of catch back for Bedford. Bedford waiting up for Kavanaugh, fakes the one-timer, goes back to Bedford. He tries to go back door. There's the shot, and McLaughlin is there to reject Sommers. Bedford waiting, looking, shooting, saved by McLaughlin. A couple jabs, and Riverview High looks to have the original penalty, and there's more shots at Tim Bedford. Or excuse me, that's Tyson Shrenham. So Riverview High does have the original penalty. There's a slash. There's 2 slashes. Tyson Shrenham heads to the box. And it looks like that's Ryan Gillis, who also goes off for a slash.
And I tell you what, Brain, I think the score sheet people are going to have one heck of a field day with this game. I mean, it's only been the first period.
They better be getting some extra pay here for this one. Only 19.8 left to go in period 1. Moncton High is now only on a 5-on-4. Sommers at the blue line. Across, one-timer from Kavanaugh. McLaughlin's there. Shot, glove down by Kavanaugh. He shoots off the pad. There's another rebound that's sent wide of the cage. Harris picks that one up, and down the ice it'll go. And that looks like we might have the end of the first period. Wilson leaving that one off for Kavanaugh. He'll come to rest. And all zeros as it comes down to period 1, 2-0 Riverview High after the first period. A very physical and scrappy period. The 2 goals, 11-11, Bedford from Atkinson and Sommer. And here we go to start period 2. Moncton High currently on a 5-on-4 penalty kill. A lot taken at the end of the last period. In the box right now, Tyson Trenum for slashing, Nolan Lewis for roughing, and for Moncton High, Dion for roughing, Brandon Warner for roughing, and sportsmanlike, Parker LeBlanc for cross-checking, and Ryan Gillis for slashing. So it's a full house in both penalty boxes. Just under 40 to go in the Riverview High power play. Kavanaugh moving up through center, being watched by Daigle. Kavanaugh going to drop at the line. Sommers across for Bedford. Bedford back to Sommers. Sommers with a bit of room, sends it back to Bedford. Bedford one-timer Kavanaugh, and he fanned on it, just couldn't quite get a hold of that one. Atkinson down for Bedford. Bedford goes up for Sommers. Sommers waits patiently, walks in and shoots. Deflected off of McLaughlin and into the boards. Bedford to the line. Kavanaugh winds up, scores!
Kavanaugh barred down on the power play. What a goal. Riverview triples up on the Knights.
With exactly 1 second left on the power play, Luke Kavanaugh from the blue line lets an absolute ripper fly. And that one is going to make it 3-0 in favor of the Riverview High Royals. The refs still discussing at the timekeeper booth. The shots on goal after the first period, they were 18-12 in favor of the Riverview High Royals. Oh, and it looks like we have some O-Can at the start of the second. Harris off the draw. Cleared in, turned away by Wilson. Avery and Dakota Smith in the corner. There's Chappell. He's hit up against the boards. Avery poking at it. They still dig for it. It's rimmed along the boards. Newcomb and McNaughton go after it. That one's taken away by Weir. Potential 2-on-1 led by Lewis. Lewis walks in, and the shot is just wide, and that was Jet Lutz, rather. Newcomb retreating with it. Loose puck. Waiting right there. Drover. McNaughton trying to send a blast. And it was just poked away of his stick before he could get a shot off. Now another 2-on-1 maybe here. Murphy trying to put that one back. Poked that one away from Weir. The zone taken out now is Maltus. Maltus, he's hit hard by Lutz as he takes the puck back. Lutz walking in with Fleming. He's poke checked by Rowan Maltus as he now gets sent down. Webb going around the cage. Trying to send that in front. Lutz down. As well as a Purple Knight. That had looked to have been Webb who had taken a fall. Now it's outside the zone. This one moved back. Maltus trying to shove it through. Now rotated back for Harris. Harris the backhand along the board out of the reach of Young. Dakota Smith walks in with the shot. Deflected by Fleming as it's now on the side of the net. Fleming trying to jab at it. And there's a save. A bit of pushes out in front, but nothing more. And the refs are going to check out the Moncton High net as everyone watches on. A 3-0 Royals lead. As Luke Kavanaugh gets the Royals up by a score of 3-0 as they still do work on that net. Looks like they're getting some seasoning on the crease. Looks like here we go with the face-off. Tyler Warner behind the net. Waiting, going up for Beal. He tries to deflect that out, blocked in and kept. There's a shot, glove down by McLaughlin.
The start of the second period has been all Riverview coming out early with that third goal of the night here. Moncton High finding themselves an increasingly bigger hole here as we enter the second period.
And that was a key start to the second, especially on the limited power play that they had. Moncton High just going to find it increasingly difficult to claw their way back into this one. Up to the line, Richard almost falling. That's in a skate of a Purple Knight, but Richard is barely able to keep that one in. Put to the net, McLaughlin. He sticks that one behind. Around, Kozak waits and fires to the net. And here's Beal, unable to get that one. Richard barely able to hold that one in. Maltus, back for LeBlanc. Parker LeBlanc to Warner. That pass, it's a bouncing puck kept in by Kozak. He fires one over the cage. It went. Warner for Beal. He'll deflect that one just out of the zone. The Purple Knights need some changes. They got the far bench, however. Here's Warner. He gets the misplaced pass and carries it into the zone. Tyler Warner walking in. There's the shot. Denied by Wilson. Richard will flip that one high. Harrison was looking to get that one blocked at the line. Owen Murphy makes a nice move and gets stood up in open ice by Evan Kozak. As Riverview High now gets a 2-on-1 back the other way. Fleming dropped. Here's the shot from Young, the save. The rebound from Fleming on the side of the net, and he couldn't quite jam it home. Harris now comes back the other way. Harris walking in. Met with 2 or 3 Royals. Forced to dump that one in. Here's Somers, who just gets off the bench. Will fire that one in. Stopped by Atkinson on the far boards. He's hit by Harris. Trenham, Bedford, now up for Somers. Goes through a couple twigs. It's Kerman that gets that one out of the zone. We'll flip it high, and we'll go for icing here at just under 16 to go. Riverview High still dominating this second period. And Somers gets a bit jumpy off the draw. It's Bedford in to replace him. Won by the Purple Knights. Kick to Curvin's feet, unable to get it. There's a shot from Somers that was blocked. Trenham to the net. That one took a weird bounce and went behind the net. Caught down there by Daigle. He tried to escape the zone. Bedford shoved by Murphy. Curvin will wire that one along the boards. Kavanaugh overskates it. Here's Gillis. Gillis would try to go across in the feet of Bedford. They still battle for it at center. On the blue line. Shot in by Brooks. That's one going to be stopped by McLaughlin. Murphy going to try to get there first. Loose on the high slot. Somers turns around. And that one missed wide of the right post. Kavanaugh for Brooks. Brooks up. Bedford to the net, taken away by Harris behind the net, hits the brakes. Somers was approaching quickly, and there's a reverse hit on Atkinson by Gillis, and Bedford comes in. He also is sat down and given another shove. Gillis on a roll right now, and he may have taken a penalty while doing that. Or is he going to draw the penalty?
Ryan Gillis absolutely reversing two Royals here. What a hit. Yeah, that's going on the hit reel for sure.
And it looks like there was a charging penalty, so that looks like it's going to go against Riverview High. So that one, I don't think could have ended up any worse for Tim Bedford. Goes for the hit, gets sat down by Gillis, and also gets called for charging. So Moncton High off to the power play for 2 minutes. So Ryan Gillis with 2 reverse hits and a drawn penalty. Here to start this one off. Warner dangles to the middle. Tyler Warner trying to find some room. Still with it. Drops it to Harris. Back for Warner. Tyler Warner waiting to the net. Here's the shot. Saved the rebound. Another one denied by Wilson. As this one will go down the 200 feet the length of the ice. McLaughlin going way out of his net to go get that one. Harris was rapidly approaching, so he'll grab that one. Harris for Daigle. Daigle will shoot down in the open ice where no one is. Warner along the boards for Daigle. Daigle back for Tyler Warner. They still try to set it up in the offensive zone. 40 seconds already gone by. Harris across for Daigle. He has some room left for Gillis. Gillis, and he enjoys the power play here at this rink. 2 goals in the home opener here. Harris for Daigle. Back up for Harris. Harris shuffles over Warner. Backdoor. Daigle the shot. Wilson says no. Daigle off his rebound back to Harris. It bounces, goes to Tyler Warner. Warner waits back to Harris. Harris to the net, deflected and backhanded out by Weir. Harris skates back for it. 40 seconds still left on the Tim Bedford charging call. Tyler Warner in his own end. Shovels that one to Harris. Harris walks in, hits the brakes as they set this one up. Warner to the net, and Wilson again said no. Avery to Curvin. He gets hit. Now Beal in the corner. Beal backhanded up. Warner, he shoots, and the rebound ends up with Harris in the side corner. Harris, backhander. Beal back down for Harris. Has to go past 2 Royals, just 5 seconds left. Harris, pass, Warner, open the shot, saving the rebound, still loose in the blue paint before it's put behind the net. Another one right in the slot, put to the net, and Wilson is spun around, but comes up with it as the power play now done. .45 remain in period 2. To the net. Avery trying to get it. There's a shot off the post. I believe that was Tatum Drover who was waiting right behind Avery and almost sent that one to the top shelf for Moncton High as they have gotten some momentum off of that power play. But here might be a breakaway walking in. Trenum, the shot just misses wide. And a key chance for Riverview High to get up 4-0. Warner the pass, not on the tape. McNaughton skating in, and they're going to call that icing, although that one awfully close. Damian McNaughton is almost there to beat out the icing, and we have a whistle towards the Moncton High bench. Looks like Keenan Wilson was being threatened with a penalty call, assistant coach of the Purple Knights. And a rush off the draw. Warner moving back for it, hit against the boards. Trenum spinning and firing, and that one caught down by McLaughlin as Fleming does a little hop out in front. Moncton High still in search for their first goal here in this one. Newcomb at the line. Shovel that one down behind the net. Newcomb again, the backhand intercepted by Webb. He'll send that one to the middle. Shot in by Banfield. Banfield, he's going to rush forward behind the net with Richard. Banfield unable to get to that one. LeBlanc trying to get back on defense. Richard still trying to work his way up the late offside. Touched up by Atkinson. Richard the backhand, and that one off of Harris. We'll go all the way down the ice. The late icing, although this one almost on the net of Logan Wilson. Royals trying to keep this one, and they barely do. Bedford down, Sommers, sharp angle behind the net, backhand. Back for Bedford, behind the net, Trenum up for Bedford. That one squeaks up to Brooks at the line. Brooks across, Kavanaugh lets one go. McLaughlin there for the save. Purple Knights defense gets some changes. LeBlanc and Harris go off. It's Tyler Warner and Owen Murphy that come on. And a clean win by the Purple Knights. Gillis will send that one into some open ice. Curvin unable to get there. Bedford shot back. That one went off the knee pad of Daigle. Rimmed around Atkinson. Searching for it there with Gillis. Taken away by the Royals. Put to the net. McLaughlin will steer that one aside. Warner up to the line. Kavanaugh the shot. This one flipped high. Will somehow manage to stay in play. Almost caught down by Atkinson. Atkinson the backhand of the line. Waiting. Firing. And again into the oven of Dexter McLaughlin. And we are almost halfway through this second period. Only one goal on the board for Riverview High. Moncton High threatening. Just haven't managed to get one by Logan Wilson just yet. Murphy skating forward behind the net. He'll lay a little poke. Avery trying to kick at that one to the line. Winding up his Kavanaugh and was blocked. Murphy around, try to get that one to Damian McNaughton. He's out of the zone. McNaughton tried to shovel that one across for Drover. Kavanaugh skating back. Flipped. Brooks waits, tries to go up. Blocked into the zone by Drover. Rimmed around. Avery chasing after it with Chappell. They both go hard into the boards. McNaughton digging at it now. He almost has possession. Damien McNaughton still in with it. Murphy was also there, but the Royals come out victorious with the puck battle. There's a shot attempt blocked by Warner. Lutz cuts back. Jet Lutz still with it. Watched by Drover. Lutz to the far boards. Here's the sharp angle shot. And McLaughlin said no. And Drover will send this one outside the zone. McNaughton chases after it. Cutting to the middle there was Kavanaugh. Two nice moves. Kavanaugh across for Lutz. That one out of his reach. There's Murphy. Giving a bump. Trying to get out of the zone there was Avery. Behind the net, looking out in front, waiting right there was Lewis. No one guarding him. Now McNaughton leads the rush. He'll shoot that one in behind the net before all 5 Purple Knights made some changes. Now attempted stretch pass that was fanned on by Kozak. Shot up, blocked down by Harris. We'll go into the zone. McLaughlin, backhander. Lewis waits and shoots. And that one's saved by McLaughlin. Face off going to the net. There was Weir. Couldn't quite get a shot off. Maltus behind the net. Now that was LeBlanc, rather, who now lays up a hit. Young cuts wide. Sharp angle to the side of the net. With the rebound. Trenham to the line. Kozak fires. Saved. And there's LeBlanc. He's hit. Young being chased by Harris. Rimmed around. Richard at the blue line. That one gets in behind him. Chasing after. There's Beal. Was unable to get to it. Royals recover with possession. Shot up to Trenham. He's almost laid out by LeBlanc. It's now a puck race for it. Turned around by McLaughlin. Beal into the boards with Lewis. Shot to the blue line. Richard skates in. He's going to try a shot. Blocked by a stick and into the protective netting behind the net of McLaughlin. Royals win it off the draw. Brandon Warner. He lays up a hit. Sommers to the line. Waiting. Put behind the net. Tyler Warner. Waiting there. There's a sharp angle shot. McLaughlin said no. Tyler Warner now behind the net. The Royals try to put it up to the line. There's Curvin. He absorbs a hit from Fleming. Tyler Warner in open ice. Put to the middle. Shot off the boards by Newcomb. Brought in by Hebert. Dylan Hebert to the middle. Fleming out of his reach. He's laid out big by Brandon Warner. And he's going to get a call for that. And he is incensed.
Brandon Warner absolutely ragdolls Fleming right in front of the Moncton High crease. That's going to draw a penalty, but Brandon Warner showing some Joey Goulet here. Flipping a kid almost on his head.
And oh, how Joey Goulet wishes he was in the lineup tonight. A very physical game between two tough teams. Brandon Warner in the box for 2 minutes as Moncton High starts off this penalty kill, shooting this one down for Wilson. Kavanaugh gets this on the outlet pass for Bedford. Bedford accelerating through center. Hits the brakes. Left off. Atkinson. Side of the net. Hits the brakes. Looks up for Bedford. Bedford. Atkinson at the goal line. Skates up towards the ringette line now. Atkinson across. And that one bounces over the stick of Sommers. Now he tries to go backdoor for Atkinson, and he wasn't there. And in 20 still to go on the penalty to Brandon Warner. Kavanaugh waits patiently here behind the net. Kavanaugh up for Sommers. Sommers skating in. Nice moves. Cuts around. Going to set up the power play. Sommers waits. Hovers the face-off circle. Backhander from Atkinson. The rebound is sent out. Bedford to the line. Kavanaugh back for Bedford. Bedford, he's going to let one go over the net. Sommers taking it on his backhand. Sommers hitting the brakes. Going across. Kavanaugh, backdoor. Bedford, he shoots. And that one went under the legs of McLaughlin, but wide of the net. Now Kavanaugh, one-timer. And that looked like it was blocked by the shin pad of a Purple Knight waiting out in front. That's Curvin that's hurting. Bedford, backdoor. What a save. The rebound, and somehow that one stays out of the net. It looked like whoever was waiting back door had a wide open net. Bedford trying now in a stick battle with Curvin. He falls down. Atkinson waits, shoots at a sharp angle. Save by McLaughlin off the boards. Caught in at the line. Not much time left to do on the power play. This one sent high. It hit the ceiling and came down. Penalty to Brandon Warner now expired. 5-on-5, the middle of the Weir put to the net. Was unable to get a tip there. Dakota Smith is going to have a try, and he elevates that one too high. The right of McLaughlin, Dakota Smith. Waiting, put to the net, it's deflected, and that one looked to have been dangerous. McLaughlin lightning-like reflexes to get to that one. Turning around is Lutz. Getting a stick lifted by LeBlanc. Lutz tried to center that one out to Weir. Chappell behind the net. Lutz waiting here, cutting and shooting, and McLaughlin's there with a blocker. Loose it in front, LeBlanc went up for a hit. Another try, the save, and down the ice it'll go. Delayed icing, although this one will just get there. But back to McLaughlin's right, back in that face-off circle, just over 4.5 left to go in our second period. There was Lutz trying to go to the net. That's taken back to the line. Here's Young. We'll lay that one off. Richard back to Young, to the middle. Tried to center. McNaughn's there. Shot saved by McLaughlin. Behind the net, put it to the line. Richard, the shot. Blocker saved by McLaughlin. And that one just hits out of play. Now try it to the left of McLaughlin. The Royals peppering shots so far here in this period. Young circles behind the net. He's hit by Tyler Warner. Trying to find in his feet. There's Trenum. Young to the line. Kozak the shot deflected through the legs of McLaughlin, but wide of the net. Beal will shoot this one off the boards. Delayed icing, and this one will not get there. The Purple Knights need to take advantage of these changes. Beal walking in, the shot saved by Wilson. And what a chance for the Purple Knights. Would have been a huge momentum booster to get themselves on the board. Alex Beal had walked in an open ice, had tons of time to shoot it.
So far, the Royals have been putting up an offensive clinic, spending the majority of the second period in Moncton High zone, just moving the puck around them. Moncton High really struggling to get possession of the puck and trying to put something together here.
You're right. This is the first offensive zone faceoff they've had in a while, but they do win it. Shot, save. Looked like it was about to trickle in. There's Brooks shoving his man. Maltis with Webb, taken away by Sommers. Sommers with speed up to the blue line. Jackson Sommers skating in on Warner. Sommers, the pass across. The shot, they score! Dylan Bear with the perfect feed from Sommers will bury it.
Well, not much you can do on that one as a goalie. I mean, just a perfect passing play.
Jackson Sommers uses his speed and sends one perfectly backdoor to Dylan Bear. And make it 4-0 now for RHS. It's a Bear from Sommers at 3:20 of the second period. Face off to Moncton High. Harris to Brandon Warner. He fans on his pass. It's shot in by Fleming. McLaughlin going out behind his net. To the middle. It's loose, jabbing at it. There was a Bear. And just sent it wide. Curvin around the boards. Gillis stopping, trying to pave his way through. Tries to go up for a hit on Sommers. Gillis still with it. Doing a tremendous amount of battling as Harris now finds his open man. Curvin trying to walk in. Pokes it past Brooks. Rimmed around. Daigle trying to go up to the line. We'll put it behind him. Now it's loose. Gillis, what a move to receive the pass. Gillis down with Kavanaugh. He's hit. Gillis still trying to carry the puck and hold it. Royals with speed. Dropped. Fleming the shot off the pass from Sommers. And that one hurt Brandon Warner. As that one sting, but he stays on the ice. Here's a shot from the blue line. Blocked by Curvin. Bouncing puck. Harris will flip that one out. Curvin going to try to be the first one there, but it's taken by Brooks. As a Purple Knight fell down in the middle, Harris lost his stick. May have been slashed out of his hands. Kavanaugh back with Warner. Behind the net now, Jackson Avery across for Harris. Harris the pass. A bit too hot to handle for Curvin as he skates with Brooks for it. And this one will result in an icing. Just under 2 to go in period 2. Got around by Harris, caught it at the line. Daco Smith put it down. Brandon Warner trying to find it in a feet of a Royal. Bedford now pinned along the boards. Sharp angle. Atkinson looking and spinning and trying to move it back door for Young. And it's a penalty against Moncton High. We have an RHS power play coming up. It was behind the play. It's Brandon Warner going back to the box about the 6th or 7th time we've seen Brandon Warner take a penalty here in this one. We got just under a minute and a half to go in period 2, and Brandon Warner's going to go off. I believe it was a slash. And Brandon Warner might be shown the gate here. He steps out of the box. Just kind of hanging out outside. And now skates towards the locker room, so that will be the end of the night for Brandon Warner. It does look like taking off his helmet. We'll wait to see the exact penalty call. For now, it's Caleb Dion that goes to serve the penalty.
Again, I mean, just Moncton High has ran into a lot of calls just not going their way, not only tonight, but last night as well, as Brandon Warner gets the game here.
And Moncton High again finding their way into some penalty trouble. It's going to be a 2-minute power play as Riverview wins the draw early in this one. Still less than a minute and a half. Kavanaugh, top of the line, moves it across. There's the shot. McLaughlin says no. Taken by Gillis. He'll send that one along the glass and down the ice. So Brandon Warner, the initial penalty is for head contact for 2 minutes. Atkinson into the zone. Slows the play down, sends it to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh across for Bedford. Back up for Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh waits. Trenham, Bedford. Here's the shot that just misses. Eldon at the line. Here's the shot from long ways out that goes over the net. Kavanaugh moving back with it outside his end. Getting in there. Somers waiting. Backdoor going for Bedford. And that one off his skate. Harris will fire this one along the wall. And this one will see the opposite end of the ice. Kavanaugh passing this one out. Out with speed. Somers to Atkinson. Atkinson at a sharp angle. Out for Bedford, the shot. And off a pad and up into the netting it goes. The line now. Trenham waiting, going to the net. He shoots, and that one's gloved down by McLaughlin. 7.3 to go. Rimmed around, stopped at the line. Chappell, he shoots, blocked by McNunn. Another try, and the buzzer goes to end period 2. And it's 4-0. Riverview High. After 2, the goals this period. Hebert from Somers and Kavanaugh from Bedford. We hope to see you back for period 3. Brayden Elaine and Gio Aragon from the Byron Dobson in Riverview. 4-0 Riverview High at the end of 2. Go for the start of the third. Riverview High still up by a score of 4-0, and currently on a 5-on-4 power play.
In the second period, the Moncton High School Purple Knights starting shorthanded after a honestly unfortunate series of penalties.
It's Brandon Warner's penalty, but he is out of the game. It's Caleb Dion who serves it. Just 10 seconds left on that. Meanwhile, the Royals go to work. Moving that across is Young. Weir looks, puts it to the net. Now at the side of the net, they jam at it. Dion now out of the box. So that's Warner that's out of the box. He is back in the game. Weir to the net. Couldn't quite get a backhander there. Tyler Warner now jabs at it. The line, Trenum just unable to hold it. Trenum moving back along the boards. That one's to Weir. Weir leaves that one off. Here's Young, skates in. Young, the shot. And that was poke checked by Tyler Warner as he went in hard on the boards. Kavanaugh at the blue line. What a move. Kavanaugh just unable to hold possession. McNaughton going to find it on the far boards. Will chip it up. Kavanaugh. Poke checked by Daigle. Rose now try to break it out. That one's going to go all the way down, but right on McLaughlin, so no icing. Now Warner the pass intercepted. Atkinson denied by McLaughlin. Harris tips that one up for Gillis. Could be a 2-on-1. Gillis moves in, tries to go back door. And Curvin just one step ahead. Curvin, Brooks behind the net. Curvin turns around, right in the slot. Shot away. Here's Atkinson leaving that one off for Bedford. Bedford walking in past one. Bedford the shot, the rebound. Atkinson looking for it. Harris was there to break that one up. Gillis, he was hit by Somers. He turns over the puck now. Atkinson now to Harris. Harris turns around. Gillis, he'll deflect down to the opposite end. Brooks going in, hitting the brakes. There's Avery, or that was Curvin rather, blowing a tire as soon as he entered the zone. Kavanaugh now has some time, needs to work with it. It's deflected into the zone. Going to call that no icing, although it looked like it was deflected behind the red line. And Curvin down in the zone, turned over. Bedford now to Harris. Some collisions along the boards. Royals still with it in the offensive zone, trying to move its way in. Kozak walking in. There's the shot that just goes wide of the net. Atkinson to the middle, and Bedford unable to tap that one home. Still at the side of the net. Harris throws that one along the boards. Stopped in. Richard unable to get to that one. It's Gillis that's able to get that one out of the zone. He gets tied up now. Shot towards the Purple Knights bench. It's McLaughlin that'll play that one out for Harris. Shots after the second period were 42-24 in favor of the Royals. A huge period for them, as now it's McNaughton in the zone. McNaughton out in front, goes to the blue line. Here's Warner that lets one go. Deflected side of the net. Avery tried to pounce on that one, but couldn't get that one out of midair. To the line, Warner unable to hold it. The pass from Drover. Warner, Drover will dangle to the middle past Chappell. Shooting this one in, it's deflected off the tape of Kozak. McNaughton in, tried to hit him. He had fallen down himself. Warner has some room, walks in. Warner the shot, scores!
Brandon Warner finally gets the Knights on the board.
And that's Tyler Warner that walks in from the line.
My bad about that one, Tyler.
Hey, they're both over 6'4". And he gets another one for the Purple Knights. Now that's his fourth goal on the season, and what a start he has had. That'll be Tyler Warner from Tatum Drover at 16:24 of the third period. And Moncton High will get on the board here. LeBlanc with Trenum. Rimmed around the boards. Going to be stopped in. Harris tried to move that one out. Taken away. Lewis looks towards the net. Nolan Lewis going behind the net. Pressured by Harris. Taken away by Beal. Beal trying to go the other way. Hits the brakes. Waits for reinforcements. The only one there is Lewis of the Royals. Lewis will walk in, shoot it on McLaughlin. That one's going to land right in front of him, but whacked away by the Knights defense. Out of the zone, Beal unable to get to that one. Webb. Now Young, he'll shoot that one in. And there's a Royal that goes down hard behind the net as the Purple Knights, they move it back the other way. Webb carries it into the zone. He's going to try a shot. The save from Wilson, and he'll make that one look easy. Braden Daigle in the draw, wins that. It's Gillis to the line for Warner. He'll put that one in behind the net. Curvin trying to spin and look out in front. Taken away by Somers up to the ringette line. A very clean breakout. Kavanaugh gets his stick lifted by Daigle. Tried to move that one to Hebert. Hebert and Brandon Warner taken away by Fleming. Fleming in front. And that one right on the tape of Gillis. Behind the net, Brandon Warner. Along the boards, past Gillis, touched up by Kavanaugh. So this one's not going to go for icing. Brooks almost turning that one over. We'll just barely get that one out. Not going to be called icing. Brandon Warner looking for it behind the net. It's Fleming that leaves that one off. Harris, a nice pass across the ice. Gillis trying to find it in his feet. Daigle in there to poke at it. Curvin in there as well. Kavanaugh with the shot glove down by McLaughlin. He'll choose not to play it. Harris behind the net, tried to move that one up to McNaughton. Back for Harris. Up to the line, Somers to the middle. Bedford winds up and shoots, and he just misses the net. McNaughton going after Kozak, and he's laid out. And that gets the Riverview bench and fans fired up here in the Byron Dobson. Harris trying to hold this one in at the line. It's Bedford. Circling around, has some pressure from Avery, and the defense will cycle it around here. Campbell Harris into the zone. Around the net with it, chasing is Richard. Poked out to center, that one just under the stick of Harris. Walking in is Atkinson, trying to shoot that one, interfere with. There's a shot from Richard that just missed the net. He came in as a trailer, and that one had almost worked out perfectly. Bedford skating past McNaughton. Bedford still with it. Tim Bedford into the zone. Here's a shot. And that one on the dasher. Purple Knights try to escape. Blocked him by Somers. He's going to try a shot. It was redirected just wide of the cage. Somers still able to keep that one in. Shot out of the zone. Will not go for icing. Webb in off a foot. Beal with the shot. And that one did not miss by much. Still wide of the net. Webb behind the net. Kozak rimmed around. Warner looks to try to hold it at the line, but it's Atkinson there first. Tried to move that one up for Weir out of his reach. Now Brandon Warner. Shot up. Couldn't hit the stick of Banfield, and down it will go for icing. The face-off done. It's shot into the netting by Webb, so we'll redo that one. They'll redo that one to the left of McLaughlin. Won by the Royals. Newcomb for Chapel. Now in a battle here with LeBlanc. Banfield in there. Royals move it back the other way. Off the boards there from Lutz. It's shot right back in by the Purple Knights. Dakota Smith had Webb and Banfield to deal with, but was able to get the pass off. Chapel moving up to Beal. Will shoot that one in. McLaughlin out of his net. Around the boards, Newcomb trying to hold that one in. Weird in the middle. Rolling puck taken away by Lutz, trying to drop that one off. It's just outside the zone. And cleared in by the Royals. Harris gonna wait behind his net. Harris trying to stretch pass, and this one's into the zone and will be called icing against Moncton High. So in a 4-1 game, our most recent goal, it's Tyler Warner from Tatum Drover. Happened just earlier in this third period. Riverview off the draw. There's a hit behind the net. Harris tried to move that one out. Shot from Kavanaugh. That one didn't miss the net by much. Curvin's going to find the open puck. Send it to Daigle. Daigle trying to get past Brooks. Trying to keep control of his stick. Daigle still with it. Goes behind the net. Given a shove from behind, but still continues. Daigle to the line. Harris will put that one wide. Out of the reach of Lewis now. Outside the zone, Warner looking back for it. Tyler Warner will shoot that one in the open ice. Kavanaugh off the boards, poked in by Trenum. McLaughlin behind the net, rimmed around. Kavanaugh, sharp angle shot. That one missed. Purple Knights just off the bench, unable to get to that one. Down the ice it'll go. Here's Brooks. Looking around the net, stopped. Avery, he's able to stay on his feet with a massive hit attempt by Trenum. Tyler Warner on his backhand. Rims that one along. Kozak back into the zone. Brandon Warner will fire that one off the glass to try to hit Damian McNaughton. Shot back in. Both teams just trying to get some dumpings at this point. There's Tyler Warner laying a reverse hit on Trenum. Across, Brandon Warner. Waits, will flip. Bounces, try to get that to McNaughton. Sommers hit against the boards. Again, this one rimmed, kept in by Fleming. McLaughlin outside his net. Brandon Warner along the board. There was McNaughton trying to get that one out. Kavanaugh at the blue line. Walks in, Sommers, centers. Fleming to the middle, and was unable to hit a target. Damon McNaughton takes over for Moncton High. To the middle, ramped off a stick, caught by Harris. Will shoot that one across. Drover trying to go to the bench. Shot deflected off the stick of Fleming. Sommers along the boards. Kozak, Daigle, they meet. Gillis to the net, didn't get much of that shot. Delayed icing for a second there. LeBlanc able to get back in time. Harris turning and firing. Back there's Richard. Pass to the middle. That one taken away. Curvin brings it into the zone. Ethan Curvin moving across, trying to go back door. And Sommers with a great back check to get there on defense. Hebert to the middle. LeBlanc lays out his man, and he's going to get a penalty for interference, I do believe. Or is it Gillis that's going to go off for hooking? Or regardless, it's going to be an RHS power play. That's going to be 4 minutes to Ryan Gillis. Unsure if maybe he had gone 2 penalties in 1 or a 4-minute head contact. We'll see very soon. Sommers off for Bedford. Bedford stepping in, waits, goes into the corner. They try to set it up here as it's sent to Sommers. Sommers down to the net, almost banked back out in front. Lewis waits, has a lot of pressure from Tyler Warner. Ringette line now. Daigle trying to block the pass here. Sommers shoots, and that one was blocked by Curvin, who is feeling it right now. Sommers down to the net and couldn't quite get that to Bedford, who was waiting for a one-timer. Bedford to the net. Out in front, tried a little give and go. Daigle going to try to extend the stick for a poke check. It's kept in by Kavanaugh. Coming back up is Atkinson. Back up for Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh waits. Sommers fires. And that one just missed the net. Goes up towards the line. Bedford just able to keep this one in. Bedford to Sommers to the middle. And that one poked away and shot all the way down on the opposite end by Moncton High. Wilson. Sommers. Sommers in between his feet. There was Avery looking for it. Sommers still in with it. Cuts back. Looks towards the line. Poke check there by Harris. Moved across. Back to the line. Tyson Trenham. Waits. Trenham down. Here's Young, the shot off the post. Chappell now moves up towards the ringette line. Goes down for Weir. Back up for Chappell. Chappell waits and fires, and that one redirected off a stick into the other side for Trenham. Trenham moved down. Young back for Trenham. Trenham. Chappell back for Trenham. Trenham's shot was blocked. That looked to have been Jackson Avery sacrificing the body in front. Young has a bit of time. Sees he doesn't have much pressure. Now cuts to the middle. Young, the shot. And that one just behind the net. They still battle loose for it. And shot down the ice by Moncton High. We have the penalty now. It's Ryan Gillis. He has 4 for spearing at 8:23. So just about a minute and 20 still left on that. McLaughlin going to find it behind the net. Shot along the boards. Chappell blocking it down there. Harris fighting for it. Back up for Chappell. Redirects for Trenham. Back for Chappell. Chappell. Trenham, the one-timer. Didn't get much of it. Blocked by Drover. And McNaughton will send it down the length of the ice. So just a minute still left on that power play. Ryan Gillis still sits in the box. Has had a 3-minute break. Royals threatening. No goals yet. Bedford, the shot off the pad. And Atkinson was waiting back door. McNaughton trying to get this one out. Gets control of his stick, and outside the zone it goes as we get down to our final 5 of the third period. Where it's skated out hard here by Sommers. Sommers stepping in. Waiting, cutting back. Sommers still with it. Waits, goes to the net. It's deflected just high. Lewis now searching for it behind the net with Brandon Warner. Hash marks. Kavanaugh, backhand. Waits to the net, deflected, they score! With just 13 seconds left on the power play, it's Reed Atkinson that deflects it perfectly up to the top shelf. The Royals now go up 5-1. They get 1 goal on the double minor penalty. There's a Bear with the shot. That one hadn't gone through all the traffic. Go back for some 5-on-5 action. Grover skating in off the boards. Not going to go for icing. Wilson outside of his net. Plays it up, blocked it at the blue line by Warner, but taken right back out. Could be a stretch pass attempt here. Bear all alone. Dylan Bear loses control off the post in the middle. McLaughlin dives on it. And that one somehow stays out. Bear and Fleming are flabbergasted. everyone unsure how that one didn't go in the net. Bear fumbled with it for a little bit, then put it right back out on the slot, and Fleming was just unable to put it past McLaughlin. Lutz now tried to go and climb up towards the line. Bear, he's hit by Warner. Avery and Fleming, they go behind the net in a shoving match. Warner there with Lutz. There's a hit along the boards. A backhand to the ringette line. Here's Drover in the middle. Drover shoots that one in. Now to the side of the net. That one's quickly covered up by a Wilson.
So far, seen a pattern, just Riverview just coming out and dominating puck possession. I mean, if you're Moncton High, just finish the game if you're head up and out of the box.
And Kozak touches up here, and it looks like we have a penalty against RHS. It's head contact. And it appears to be Chad Richard that heads to the box for head contact. And that's going to be 4 minutes against Richard. So the Purple Knights will have the remainder of the game on the power play unless more penalties are taken. Here's Harris to Warner. Warner waits. Hovers at the blue line. Warner stick handles. Has now moved to the opposite side. Dropped off for Harris. He puts one in the net. And that one deflected off the glove of Wilson. Curvin. The line. Harris. Back for Warner. Warner backdoor the shot. And that one is saved wide. And a great pass from Tyler Warner to go backdoor. And they're just unable to finish. Moncton High at the line. Harris down for Daigle. Daigle trying to get that back up to Harris. But a misplaced pass ends up outside the zone. Harris, or that's Warner, excuse me, behind the net. Sends that one up to Daigle off the boards. He'll dump that one in, but it's going to go for icing. Daigle was just behind the red line. Harris off the face-off win for Moncton High. 2.5 minutes left in the third period. Deflected right to Gillis. He'll get that one in deep. Gillis and DeCo Smith going after it. Gillis tries to kick it to himself, taken away by DeCo Smith. He'll just put that one up to the line for Warner. Warner down for Curvin. Curvin across for Harris. Harris, Warner waits, fires off the shin pad of Bedford. Warner will quickly get that one across for Harris. Back for Warner. Little saucer pass, intercepted, Lutz to the net, and deflected just wide by Bedford. Harris behind the net for Tyler Warner. Tyler Warner trying to fight through Lutz, turns around, will have to retreat to his own end. Under 2 to go here in this hockey game. Curvin with speed, goes up past Atkinson. Curvin waits, goes back to the line. Here's Harris, the trailer, trying to step in, and Atkinson had read him perfectly, but here's Warner to the net. Deflected in the corner. Braden Daigle climbs up the wall. Tyler Warner, back door, try to get that to Harris. Harris waits, tried to move that to the net, redirected behind. Curvin out in front, what a pass to Gillis. They look at it for the rebound, it's behind the net. Again, don't know, that one stayed out of the net. Harris had tried to move that one in front. Fallen down, and the Royals will move it back the other way. It's Kavanaugh that will lightly dump it in. Warner behind the net. Purple Knights getting some changes in. It's cleared all the way down. Not going to go for icing. Wilson will shoot that one. Stopped in by Avery at the line. Flipped in by Sommers. And less than a minute to go. Kavanaugh shooting that one. That one deflects for McNaughton. McNaughton stepping into the zone. He'll go behind the net. Avery waits. Tries to go up. Dropped off. Brandon Warner. Brandon Warner tried to put it to the net. Now it's in the high slot. Walking in is Drover. Cutting to his left. Up to Avery. Avery, the pass intercepted. It's Sommers going the other way on a breakaway. Jackson Sommers shorthanded. Waits. Shoots. McLaughlin shuts the door. Moncton High now with it. Beal stepping in across the line. Hits the brakes. Waiting. Looking. Going to turn around. Might need to get a shot off here as the buzzer hits zeros. And the Riverview High Royals take it by a score of 5-1.
Well, this was just a dominant showing throughout the whole game by the Riverview High School Royals. If you're the Moncton High School Purple Knights, I think it's best you just forget this one and reset and get ready for the next one.
And that next one is coming your way Thursday night. It's Moncton High against BMHS at the Greenfoot Energy Fourplex on Moncton High Sports. Stick around for that.